All right, guys, we're back again. This is going to be our Pen Showdown shootout thing. Whatever I end up titling the video, who knows. But what I got here is the most popular 3 brands of Pen. So I have Nikko, Tachikawa, and Zebra pens. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and load some of these up into some nib holders. So we're going to do the Tachikawa and the Zebra and the double-ended pen there. And then we're going to put the Nikko in my Koh-i-Noor cork holder. And we're just going to kind of discover some of the differences. I'm using Kent paper and pilot drafting ink. I tend to use pilot drafting ink a lot. I have some big bottles of this stuff, so. Let's see. So those are the hairlines it produces. Max Flex looks a little bit like that. See how it tapers. Pretty soft nib. All right, not bad, not bad. Pretty smooth. Let's move on to the Tachikawa. All right, the Tachikawa was eliminated for failing to produce lines. No, it's there we go. I can already tell it's slightly, I mean, it's still really smooth, but it has, well, I guess a little bit more feedback on the paper. Produces slightly thinner hairlines, definitely noticeable. Max Flex is a little bit thinner. This is definitely a stiffer nib. Definitely springier. That's how it tapers. And they're all still really smooth. Like I said, it's got a little bit different sound. It's got a little bit more feedback on the paper. Ink flows nicely from it. All right. Now for actually, that's going back to Nikko. Hold on. My bad, guys. Now for the Zebra Pen. There's definitely an R in Zebra. Zeba. So I can tell you already, it's just not as smooth as the Nikko, but I don't know. See the hairlines? Very thin hairlines. See the Max Flex that this is capable of. So thick. The surface tension of the ink. I think it just might be there might be some residual oil on the nib that's preventing adhesion. One of the things problems I always experience with the Zebra G nibs, which is why I don't use them that often, is they always seem to be slick. I don't know what type of chrome coating, but that's the Max Flex. Definitely the softest. All the nibs. Very good hairlines. I mean, crazy thin hairlines. Dumped a little too much ink there. Good taper. Very soft nib. Really smooth too. It's almost too soft for my taste. To the point of where it's a little bit harder to deliberately control like exactly the line thickness that you want. Like you're naturally gonna get some line variation with a zebra. Those are the 3 different G pens. Really, all 3 produce a wonderful line. So, I mean, which one should you go with? I mean, I guess really, which one's cheaper? If you want a stiff but thin nib that is not ever going to go thicker than what you want, go with the Tachikawa. If you want something that's a complement to a Maru pen or a Hunt 102, something that's a little bit thicker and softer and a little bit more expressive, but but it's still a little more controllable, go with the Nico. And if you just want like a one nib to do it all, go with the Zebra G nib. I will say that Zebra G nibs tend to give me more ink flow issues just because of whatever chrome coating they use on there, on the nib, that like even when it's worn in, like I don't know if you can kind of tell, but the nib is relatively worn in, but you can see how the ink isn't adhering like that well to the nib. So I don't know why the Zebras do that, but that's been an issue with Zebra nibs that I've had for like the past 10-15 years. And it's kind of why I've stayed away from them. But really, all 3 G nibs perform extremely well. They all do. I mean, if you look at the lines, if you told me that the Tachikawa was a Zebra nib or the Nico was a Zebra nib, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you that you were lying. The only thing is that the Nico definitely has bolder hairlines than the other 2 do. Whereas the hairlines of the Tachikawa and the Zebra are very, very close. I mean, when you're talking about the thinness capable, it's really splitting hairs at that point, seriously. So buy whichever one is good for you, you know? All right, anyway. Buy whichever nib is the easiest to get a hold of for you, you know? There's no reason to go, I'll absolutely need Zebra G nibs because they're what everybody's using. I tend to prefer the Tachikawa nib, personally, but all 3 are good. I have 10 packs of all 3 because, hey, whatever. It's nice to mix things up every once in a while. But anyway, guys, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. I hope this maybe shed some light on the different G nibs available. Comment if there's anything you want to see in the future, or, you know, if you have a comment, who knows. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative, and have a good day.